discomfort about talking about sexual education.
Ayyo, that's another whole
I
topic,
mean, that is why
doctor.
we are not
See, I'll tell
communicating.
you what, I've.
Okay, so all the things I'm telling you is because I have seen this personally
Mm,
in with many of my friends. I don't have a
mm,
teenager yet.
mm,
Okay, so I'm just preparing myself.
mm, mm,
But I'm telling you that even to a boy,
mm,
my friend, he is saying that how do I go and talk about sex education to the boys?
mm,
You know, if a fish will know how to swim in water
mm,
by itself when the time comes.
mm,
Okay, and this guy, he's a billionaire. He's a
mm,
millionaire, and he's
mm,
well educated.
mm,
I'm just putting myself in him. If I have to talk to Arjun
mm,
about sexual education,
mm,
I will feel so uncomfortable.
mm,
So, how should that happen? See, example to your situation. I mean, to the discussion that we're discussing, I am concerned that you'll be used
mm,
or you'll be taken advantage of.
mm.
As a parental instinct, I'm coming to protect you.
Correct.
And that comes across as a forceful parenting.
See, doctor, actually, this topic called sex education has to be age appropriate. In a family that has not had such conversations at all, suddenly from out of nowhere having a conversation at the age of 14 and 15 is going to be very difficult.
Hmm.
So, where will it start? It starts at the age of 6 when the mother talks about how you keep yourself safe, different parts of the body,
Hmm.
who touches, who does not touch, how you keep yourself. So, such conversations are normal in that house. Yeah. And then when they turn 9, you start talking about puberty
Hmm.
to both boys and girls. How do you initiate? See, Indian setup to initiate is a little difficult.
Hmm.
Please take the help of these wonderful books available online,
Hmm.
like Menstrupedia, Boy's Guide to Growing Up. There are
Hmm.
such books.
Hmm.
Buy that book and gift to your child when your child is 9 years old. They will read the book, they will understand some things, and then just make normal conversations in the family. See, it should never be like one fine day when the child is 10 or 11 years old, shut all the windows. Sit. Today I'm going to tell one very important thing, Ma, that you should not forget for life. That is putting the child through trauma. That's not okay. But I should say, by the time the child already knows everything from the internet. Yeah, because when see, especially boy children, doctor, when they see differences in their body, girls wonder, they will go and discuss with their friends.
Hmm.
They are very verbal in their communication with regard to differences in their body, puberty, what's happening to herdy, what's happening to herdy, and all of that. They will sit and talk kusukusun, and the 9, 10 years, no, all these girls will form groups and they start talking. But boys will never do that. They will keep it to themselves. As you said, initially there was a time when fish could learn to swim on its own. But now there is internet. This boy will go to the internet to Google about the changes in his body, and what is internet going to give him in return? Age inappropriate content, very sexual,
Hmm.
that he should not see, that he should not get exposed to. And then he already knows what he's not supposed to know at that age, a very fantasized version of reality. It's not real at all. And then what happens? Then comes the trouble. That's why I say, even before the child becomes too curious and goes into the internet, you initiate those conversations at home through books, through normal things. See, like here in India, many schools have menstrual health talks for both boys and girls.
Hmm.
So at the age of 11, there are, I know parents of boys who say, hey, if there is a girl in your class who's just going through this, I think you should not bully her or do anything. Please help her and understand her.
Okay.
See, this is a nice way of
Nice.
telling things. We have never heard such things in our childhood. All vulgar things only they'll talk to us. See, even to talk such topics in a nice way, you have to use the correct words.
Hmm.
That comes slowly, it'll come. And then when these conversations are normal in the house, then when they become 14 and 15, we can talk about intimacy, what is okay, what is not okay, how safe you have to be. Consensual is also not okay, because what is happening to your body, you can very much have a talk with your child. But where does it start? 6-7 years. Even if you have a 10-year-old who's you've not done anything so far, it's okay. At least start now. Don't wait for your child to become 15. That is too late. It's very awkward for the child also. என்னம்மா இப்படியெல்லாம் நீ என்கிட்ட பேசினதே இல்லையே, suddenly why you're coming and talking to me like that? Because the mother is also very nervous. The child is not nervous. Mother only is very nervous to talk to the child. Father பேசுறதே இல்லை, என்னத்தையோ பண்ணுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஓடிடுவார். See, especially to the boys, the father has to speak. It's very, very important, doctor. Father has to have such normal, conversations with the boy to make him feel comfortable about his own body, how he treats the other girls, what is happening to his body in puberty. It's okay to talk. They become very close. In fact, they like to talk all this to parents. But just that some parents make it too awkward, they just run away. Yeah, so it's okay to talk. I feel it is a must, in fact. So that is when it becomes educative at the age of 14 and 15. Otherwise, it becomes
a forced thing.
A forced thing.
Dictatorship.
So what will the child think? Ittanala you were not even bothered about what's happening to my body. Suddenly now one more character is coming and you're so concerned about my body. This is what a child will think. So that conversation must normalize from a very young age. Please see, if you're not giving the right books, if you're not sharing the right information, internet is going to teach them everything wrong, everything fantasized, everything that looks so much more fun and interesting, that is actually not fun and interesting. But they get carried away by that. And then there are other friends who come and share some unnecessary stories, fantasized stories of what is happening in their life. Curiosity increases. So then I know a girl who told me, all my friends have boyfriend. I am the only one who does not have a boyfriend. I feel I'm worthless. So shouldn't the mother communicate? No? Sometimes with the mother's communication, the child will feel better. When this girl comes and talks about all their stories to the mother, and the mother says, "Ayyo, pridilama pandranga. Is it? Are they doing this? Are they doing that also?" You will also get one day wait. But until then, you study. That is important. Instead if the mother says, இதெல்லாம் நம்மள்ட்ட பேசக்கூடாது, நம்ம வீட்டில் இதெல்லாம் பேசவே மாட்டோம், that is a wrong thing to do. So age appropriate communication around sex education is very important in the family.
But this brings the next question. Prom in the US?
Yes.
Like where they
they get a partner.
They get a couple. They get a partner. Okay, a girl finds a boy and a boy finds a girl. And usually, if you look at in prom, the Indian kids will alone have like boy, girl. But all the it's a big thing in high school where the girl brings the boy and the father actually takes a picture with the thing.
Yeah, and they come in these fancy cars and gowns.
Clothes,
it's a big deal.
It's a big deal, right? From an Indian community, usually the girl actually finds another girl and then goes to prom, and then they come home and then they say, okay, other people are doing like this, but we chose to be like this. And the mother is like, good job. Okay, so this is what we want. Is that the right thing to do? Or we should say that, you are with them. The peer pressure should not come to you. And if you want to have a boyfriend taking to the prom, we should be okay with it. Should the parent change the mindset? This is a dilemma we always have.
No, see, I don't know if I can tell it like this here, but there are so many Indians in US. You can change the prom culture only. It's okay. Why should we follow their culture? See, because if the child is able to understand and say, no, I'm comfortable going with a girl, What is the problem in that? They don't have to actually go and fit into that and behave like that. See, even they are figuring out a way to say, I'm comfortable doing this. Because they know that only a boyfriend comes to a prom with us, or when we go to a prom, later on it become a relationship. So I'm keeping away from it. I'm comfortable with this. We need to respect that decision of the child, no? So that's why I say if the prom culture is that, it's okay. But the Indian infused prom culture is a little different. It's absolutely fine.
It's absolutely fine too. So the other problem that people always think about is that, see, if you're making them more Indianized in the USA, will that affect them psychologically when they are being surrounded by white people?
See, at one point, doctor, they will know how to express themselves when there are people of different ethnicity around them. We cannot lose our ethnicity completely and behave like someone else. If they are able to figure out that balance, if the child is able to figure out that balance, and they say, hey, listen, I am Indian, I'm living here, but this is what I am and I'm comfortable doing this. I am being productive at work, or amongst friends, I'm being happy with all of you, but this is what I am. That is exactly what we're looking at.
Okay.
That is what we want.
Okay, good.
We don't want them to become like anybody on compulsion. That's not okay. But there are some children who don't like to be Indianized. They like to be like the Americans. That is still, again, the child's choice. I think it's a very individual
But
thing.
when the child choice is like that, like I need a boyfriend to go to prom, then the parent should accept, yes, no, discussion wise? When the parents are completely
See,
considerate.
if going to the prom with a boy, if it's going to affect them so much, I don't think it's going to affect them so much. It's just going to the prom with a boy. And it's the girl's choice that she wants to do this. See, that's why I say, நம்ம எதுக்கெல்லாம் no சொல்றோங்கிறது இருக்குல்ல.
Okay. You need to pick your battle.
Exactly. You cannot say no to every single thing. That's why I said $100 in Starbucks. I said, what is your problem? Starbucks is the problem, or $100 is the problem. That is the See, there are parents who say no to every single thing. The child says, Amma, I don't want Indian food. That's also no. I don't want to wear pavada davani. That's also no. I don't want to. See, everything is a no.
Short.
See, so certain things you are raising a kid in the USA. That you need to understand. You are not raising in Madurai. But you want to raise the kid there and you want the child to behave as if the child is in Madurai. How is it fair? It's putting a lot of pressure on the child. Yeah, so certain things. Now, having a relationship, crossing limits, excessive physical intimacy, put your foot down and say no. But certain other things, see, dressing up, their entertainment, all of that you don't have a say. There is a family that I know in the US who don't let their daughter listen to Taylor Swift. What, yeah, pavo? What will that child listen to?
You know why? Do you know why?
The tickets are so expensive. They can't buy.
No. Taylor Swift is the epitome of a teenager girl falls in love and she's like break up and she goes on to the next relationship. The songs are like that.
No, I don't think they get the essence of the song so much like how you all do. See, frankly, you tell me, Dr. Pal. Wait, I have this doubt. See, நீங்க எத்தனை பாட்டு தமிழ் பாட்டு சின்ன வயசுல கேட்டிருக்கீங்க? அதோட அர்த்தம்லாம் இப்ப திரும்ப போட்டு காட்டுறாங்க. எவ்வளவு கன்றாவியா இருக்கு. You're still, at that age you like the rhythm, you like the music. Just leave it. Why are you going? I stand for Taylor Swift that way. Otherwise, I cannot go back home to my 2 teenage daughters.
No, I'm not saying that is right, but I'm just saying that is where the parents' thought process is.